history, has now participated in 75 postseason games, and is averaging just a shade under 35 points per game. Jordan and the Bulls breezed past the Miami Heat in the opening round, with Michael getting 56 in the clinching game. But the Bulls have been surprised by the physical intensity of the Knicks. Jordan with 31 and then 27 in the two games. A short while ago, I talked with MichaelJordan. Michael, honestly, how surprised are you by the way the Knicks have come out in this series?
I'm very surprised. I mean, not really too surprised, because they've got a bunch of competitors on that team, and Patrick and Xavier and Charles. You know, they came at us very aggressively. We looked at the Detroit series, and we felt they would be a little tired going through a 5-game series, but they came out even more eager and more aggressive than we were, and we have a tough time trying to change that momentum back in our favor as of right now.
How rough and physical would you characterize this series as being?
Well, we've had much more physical battles against Detroit, but this has been a very physical battle, especially on the boards. I mean, Xavier and Charles have basically beat up, you know, Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant in a very physical way to get the rebounds, and that's something that we came into the series expecting, but we hadn't really aroused to their level of competitive and physical play under the boards yet, and hopefully this game could be that for us.
So talent level aside, you'd concede that they have played harder and more intensely through the first two games?
Oh yeah, they have. They have showed the intensity as well as hard work on the basketball court to come into our building and play the way they played. You got to give them credit. You got to give Pat Riley a lot of credit for keeping them as hungry as they have been, and I think it's very key for us, a very big key for us to come in and have that same type of hunger that they have for our arena.
Was there some reluctance on your part or on the part of some of your teammates to take it into the lane in the games in Chicago, with Oakley and McDaniel and Ewing being as physical as they were?
Well, I think, you know, the first game we did take it in the lane. Patrick had 6 blocks. You know, these guys plug up the lane very well. Their defense is very compact inside the lane, which makes it very difficult to get inside. And when you do get inside, you intimidate a little bit with Patrick Ewing in there. We're trying to get inside and draw the attention and find an open man and create some fouls. But, you know, their defense has been very, very persistent in terms of getting into the paint, allowing us nothing inside, which has been a big problem for us.
What was the jawing like between you and John Starks? You really abused him in a 15-point stretch early in Game 2, and the two of you were seen talking to one another, especially you to him.
Well, it was more or less myself doing the talking. John doesn't talk much. John is a very competitive player. I like John. I was trying to get him roused, trying to get his mind away from the game, because he's such a key component for them. And I was able to do that for a little short amount of time. I got him in a little foul trouble, but you know, he's a very strong mental person. He didn't say much, but I was more or less trying to get him going so he can get me going.
So what sort of things do you say to try and get under his skin?
More or less that, you know, I'm going to go down in the post. I'm going to post him up. He's too small, you know. There's an education down here and inside the lane. This type of stuff. Nothing derogatory towards John, in a sense, but more or less just a joke. He was laughing as much as I was laughing, but it was a fun thing for both of us, I think.
I know you're not the sort of guy to set up an excuse, so it's me introducing this and not you. But I know you had a headache last night, and you look actually a little bit tired as I'm talking to you now. How do you feel?
Well, I didn't sleep well. I hadn't really been sleeping well. I have bad headaches, and but that's not an excuse. You know, once I step on the basketball court, I'm out there to play, and I'm not going to live on excuses. So, you know, we're here, so we got to go to work.
Well, I think, you know, Michael's going to come to play. But here's the point that I think needs to be made. They played Miami and beat them, and they just swept them. So they really hadn't played the kind of competition that I think they would like to have had, the real tough battle. This series with New York is like playing Detroit in terms of the physical aspect without the animosity. And if Chicago isn't careful, they'll find out that they just don't match that intensity, as Michael said, and they'll find themselves not winning this game.
One quick note from the Seattle-Utah series. We showed you Karl Malone poking Sean Kemp in the eye. He missed the last 2 minutes of the game last night. He does have swelling in that right eye, but he will play. He will play tomorrow for Seattle in Game 3 at home against Utah. Up next, Jordan and the Bulls at Madison Square Garden for Game 3 against the Knicks. Marv Albert and Mike Fratello will have the call. That's followed by Game 3 of the Trailblazers and the Suns. Dick